has been Xbox has seen some stuff. Let's put it that way. There's been issues. There was a guy that content creator that had his account hacked and he lost all his stuff, including everything on his OneDrive. But because of enough noise and traffic that has happened on social media, Xbox has addressed this and the person has got their account back. On top of that, they got their stuff back, which is great. I'm glad that that happened. Now they have Xbox had an outage for 20 hours. I didn't even know this because I was still on Xbox. I'm just gonna be honest. I was still on Xbox. I was watching movies. I was watching people's live streams on Twitch. I was watching YouTube videos and things like that. I did not even realize that there was an outage. I don't know what the case was, but we're gonna go ahead and go into this. This is Scott Van Vliet. I don't know how to exactly say his name. He is the CTO of Xbox. I don't even know what a CTO is. Okay, what is a CTO? A Chief Technology Officer. Okay, that's very important. Now we know. Basically, he's going to be addressing everything that has happened over the outage. Now remember, PlayStation, they also had an outage as well. But the thing is, nobody from Sony or PlayStation has addressed the situation, saying, "Hey, yeah, there was an outage. My bad. You know, this and that." Like anything of that nature. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. If you guys do like the content, make sure to drop a like on the video, okay? And also, yeah, whatever. Anyway, let's see here. Earlier today, this he said. Turn this down. All right. Earlier today, they said many players began experiencing issues with sign-in, enumerating their game libraries and playing games. The team has worked hard throughout the day to fix the issue, and we've restored service as of 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Nonetheless, this is an unacceptable situation, and we must do better to support you. A company took accountability. A multi-billion-dollar company took accountability. That is, man, I'll check that off on my bingo card. Holy crap, that is insane. All right, so they said over the coming weeks, you'll hear more from me about our services, our platform, and the work we're doing to make Xbox better. And that starts with some transparency about this incident. What happened? Late last night, a licensing service that sits outside of Xbox, but which Xbox depends on, began failing. This caused some sign-in scenarios to fail, and it caused many scenarios that require an entitlement check to also fail, such as listing out your full library and launching games that you own. This is digital, remember, the whole digital future thing. It also affected several of our publishing and store partners who depend on the same systems, which is why some of you saw issues in specific games and not others. Again, this the whole the future is digital. Not unless you don't fix this licensing problem. Anyway, they said, what did we do? They said our on-call teams caught the first signals overnight and through automated monitoring and declared a major incident. Once we isolated the failing infrastructure, we shifted traffic onto the healthy parts of the system while the team continued to work towards a root cause. Servers came back unevenly across regions, which is why some of you recovered hours before others. They said, what is next? What's next? We're running a full post-incident review. I care less about the one-line root cause and more about the real questions. Why a failure in one service was able to take down this much? Why recovery took as long as it did? And what we changed so a single point of failure can't ruin your night again. That means hardening the dependencies underneath sign-in and game launch, improving how we detect and contain this class of failure, and being faster and clear with you when something breaks. They said, thank you for your patience and for the reports that genuinely help us narrow this down. We'll do better. Again, I am happy that they said that they took accountability. They said, this is the problem we had. This is our issue. My bad. We're going to do better. We're going to do better. We don't want to say, hey, we found the problem, we fixed it. We want to know what caused this problem and how can we mitigate this issue again, like from happening again. I like that they're taking, like, yeah, this was reactionary, but now they're trying to take precautionary steps so this doesn't happen. Again, I'm just going to say it. This still proves people's points about wanting, that having physical games and having those licenses on the discs themselves is very important. I don't care. Like, yes, I understand. You pop the disc into the console, and then you have to download the game. Yes, but here's the thing: if you take a game like I did it yesterday, if you take Titanfall 2 for an example, and you pop Titanfall 2 the disc into your console, download the game and everything, right? You take the disc out, and then you try to play it straight off the Xbox itself, just like, select the game and try to open it. It says there's an error that you do not have you do not own the license to this game. Even if you go offline, I'll do another video on it too, explaining it. You can go offline completely, disconnect from the internet and stuff. Don't even log into a profile. Pop try to load the game. Doesn't work because it doesn't have the disc in. Pop the disc in, and it will load the game up because the license is on the disc. So that's what I'm gonna say. Like, as long as they have something like that, and that's why it's like one of those things for me personally when it comes to physical media. If it's just the code, like the license key on the disc, I by all means, I'm all for it. I am all for it. This whole thing where it's like, going from the store, and I'm not saying that they should get rid of the digital part of it. No, I'm not saying that. Like, consumers should have whatever choice they want, but it should not be that people need to that have physical that love physical games, collecting them and things like that, or playing games off physical copies. They shouldn't have to be forced to adapt to digital. Now, I know people are gonna say PC, Steam, all that stuff, but there was a time when PC had physical games. And the thing is, people weren't happy about it when it went all to digital too. Like, people were upset about it. But the thing is, PC doesn't have much of an issue with digital as like consoles do, because you could take a file. What was it? Is it GOG? I think it's GOG. Hold on. I think it's GOG. GOG. Yeah, GOG.com. Basically, you can take a game that you bought and you can preserve it. You can put it on a disc. You can do a file. You can put it on USB. And anything like that. You can do that. That's what this is. You can preserve your games and everything. You can. As long as you buy them, you pay for them and everything. Yeah, you could do what you want with your disc. You could do what you want, whatever you want with it. I don't think you just resell it. No, nothing like that. But at least you can preserve the game, which is amazing. And these are all DRM free. So if you want to have a collection, if you want to have like a disc collection, if you want to have, oh my God, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Holy crap. Sorry. Anything of that nature, then you can. You totally can. So let's go ahead and let's look what people were talking about in this. So then we have Larry, who is Major Nelson. Everybody knows Major Nelson from the old Xbox days, from 360 and backwards. This is the guy who did a ad on Xbox saying, and this is when 360 was like wild, and we were like, holy crap, that you can order pizza from Pizza Hut through your Xbox. And I thought that was funny because I did it. So he said, thanks, Scott. He said, I've been on your side of the table, so I know how this feels. Hit me up. We should chat. Let's see here. Why are the licenses for my Xbox content not on a system that Xbox controls? And then even Scott replied, and he says it's an internal service at Microsoft that is shared across multiple products, not some random system. Sorry that wasn't clear. We'll be better about it. Future updates. And he even explains more of himself. Oh, like, Sony, you gotta take notes from this guy. Let's see any more stuff on this. So then he said, I figured it was another service inside Microsoft. I just don't like that a core service elsewhere can have such an impact on Xbox. They said, that's fair, and we need to be durable to outages for systems on which we depend. That's the work ahead of us. Most modern systems have loads of dependencies. The best systems create durable solutions for when those dependencies fail. This is where we'll improve. And again, it takes, like, I like that they're he's acknowledging what happened, taking accountability, saying, yes, we messed up. I messed up, need to do better. I'm glad. Let's see what people were saying. Xbox explaining the fall of its services and mentioning what they're going to do to prevent something like this from happening again. PlayStation, after PSN went down for hours too. They were quiet. Xbox has a massive outage that affected so many users. They respond to fans and say what happened and next steps. Sony had a similar issue and said nothing. Accepting your mistake and communicating is what I like to see, then pretend like it never happened to Xbox, which is good. Our Xbox CTO today on today's outage. I love that. Asha, in some of her early messaging, said Xbox needs to reduce its third-party dependencies. One of those entities is what took down Xbox for close to 24 hours. And again, it's building up. It's telling people like, hey, this is what's going on, you know. So again, I like how Xbox is doing better. And the thing is, it's the whole licensing service thing. Like we said, a licensing service that suits that sits outside of Xbox, which Xbox depends upon, began failing. And that's a big problem when it comes to the digital, like digital products and things like that, and how people are trying to push this all digital future, because again, you don't own your games. You are paying for a license that could just randomly be taken away from you with no way of you getting your money back at all, or even a percentage of your money back. And that's an issue that I have when it comes to games in general. And that's why I do like my physical games, because at least the license or the license is on that disc. Now, the crappy thing is obviously, I know people are gonna say the things about the Crew. The Crew, you can have it on a disc, you still can't play the game because it's all online. And that's why I like the whole Stop Killing Games, where they're like, hey, at least have something that's an offline component, so then when the game is no longer a thing, or no longer can be, serviceable, or they can't run the service or anything like that, people could still play the game and not have to force to buy another game or something like that. It all makes sense. Like Battlefield 3 on the Xbox, you can't play multiplayer anymore. EA shut the service down, but you can still play the campaign. So the game's not completely dead, right? You don't have just a paperweight. You can still play it. Battlefield 4, I think multiplayers are still there, but I know Battlefield Hardline, they just shut their servers down. But the thing is, you can still play the campaign. So that's the whole thing I have when it comes to these games, where just have the license on the disc, pop the disc in, you download the game because you're like, hey, here's my license. It proves, hey, this is a valid license. This person is able to download the game. So they download the game, and then in order for you to play your game, to access your gameplay, you need the license, which is your disc. And that's the thing with games nowadays, with Xbox One, Xbox Series X games, things like that, where you can sell it to, you can do get it, buy it secondhand. You can go to a mom and pop shop, a retro game store, and buy that disc, which is basically you buying the license. It's just the license just being handing it around. That's it. So I don't have a problem with that. It's just when we need to solely rely a license, when companies have to solely rely on a licensing company, that could just go down like that. Or they say, hey, we just can't pay for this license anymore. That means everybody else that has access to this license, no longer have access anymore. And also, we're not paying them anymore. That's another thing. So that's all I got for this video. Sorry, I'm rambling on more and more and more. I could do it for like another 30 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation when it comes to Xbox and things like that. And Also, let me know in the comments how PlayStation can become better, because you know they're still going downhill with everything that has happened and not said anything about it. So yeah. And also one last thing for Xbox, Project Helix. One way to really keep people in and win people over, have a disk drive for the Helix. If that is confirmed and you guys are still printing discs, then you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be extremely happy, and possibly you might have people from PlayStation come over to Xbox. So yeah, that's all I got for this video. And PlayStation, do better. Take note of what Xbox is doing, and yeah, do better. Anyway, stop the channel. See you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.